Yo, what's happening, fanbase, and welcome to another episode of Honest Descriptions. This time, I'll be honestly describing the relatively underground, unknown KSI versus Logan Paul squabble. Not gonna lie, the moderator did a great job with his narration of the fight, but honestly, I wanted to take my honest shot at it because I feel like, well, I have so much to say that unfortunately just wasn't said yet. And for those of you who don't know, the word honest definitely has quotation marks, because without quotation marks, it would be a completely different video, and it would be way less fun for everyone. So without further ado, let's begin. As we all know, this boxing match did not have a lot of hype on YouTube. It's not like every single major channel on the entire platform made a video devoted to it once a week, with all the drama and press conferences, and I could have done one of these videos on literally all of them, but I'm not sure if I want to start doing my honest descriptions on YouTube drama and the YouTube community in general. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this one, but for now, we needed more hype. So what do? Well, remember Lit Poppy from the FouseyTube fiasco? Well, I remember him, and they sent his less talented step-cousin to be savaged by this one. And of course, he tosses his coat into the crowd, and, well, no one catches it because they appreciate this guy as much as I do, apparently. To put it bluntly, he's not as lit as Pappy. And, yeah, that takes talent. Did wanna fuck me, and they did! But at this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Lit Pappy was a god among men. It's not like you'd be able to hire someone to trump Pappy without dropping millions of dollars. And, well, quite frankly, this boxing match has made millions of dollars. And you're probably wondering, why didn't they hire someone that actually knows how to sing? Crazy, I know. But in all honesty, the signs were right before you. You just couldn't clearly grasp it. I know in the beginning it confused me. It took at least 4 or 5 watchings to actually fully grasp the thematic philosophy behind hiring this savage loser guy. And mind you, that someone like me with an IQ of at least 14,000 and not hiring someone with the skill set of, praise his name, Lit Pappy. And quite frankly, it's because the next song playing was Jake Paul's champion song, and it's like hard to come by a song that makes that one sound decent. Blood, sweat, tears, yeah, got no fears, no. And don't get too smug, Deji fans. I've heard Waste Man as well. Did you hear my joke there? I said Deji fans, like Deji has fans. Yeah, anyway, roll the song.
Clap. Everything I know about you just makes me want to put you harder when I come through.
And all of a sudden, it's understood why we needed the savage guy. Clearly a talent on his own right, making these two borderline perfect musicians, Jake and Deji, sound bearable. Yeah, this ring is just full of talent tonight, fam. And because this is the most official, unofficial match of all time, Jake Paul finally enters the stadium wearing the most normal attire we've seen him wear in weeks. Honest. It's Gay, his new line of merch. That's right. Do you want to look like a cross between Gay Bane and Discount General Grievous? Because if you do, just hop over to jakepaul.com/shop, as he'll be reminding you to do for the remainder of the evening. But that's not all he's wearing. Among the vast array of bling, he has a really cool necklace that says Duck Jake Paul. So his haters want to give him a wedgie, his fans thinks he's edgy, and his rivals named Deji. Speaking of his rivals named Deji, while Jake was definitely overkill, Deji was kind of the opposite. He walks on stage thinking, oh, look how badass I am wearing the Kakashi mask. Yeah, that's right. Now I look like Ninja can kick your buttock. I'm not sure if that was racist, but if it was, I apologize because the match is about to begin. And to whoever was in charge of the sound and decided it was a good idea to play Jake Paul's diss track instead of just Walmart, honestly, you should be fired because that's a battle cry if I've ever heard one. But as the Jake Paul versus Deji fight begins, so too does the beginning of what I like to call the Night of Broken Promises. And if that sounded cringe, well, it's nothing compared to the honesty I'm about to describe. Let's remember what Jake Paul said before the fight began and how he predicted it would go. Pretty sure he said it's gonna be a left hook in the first round and it's gonna be a knockout. Okay, now what does Deji have to say? Well, I'm pretty sure he said, I trained for double the time, so I'm gonna prove England that I'm its pride. For my country, I will beat him. And he won't even know what he's up against. I have a master strategy to destroy him. Yes, Deji and Jake Paul basically said that in the face-to-face. So, Jake Paul said it was gonna be a one-hit knockout, and took him until the 5th round. He lost in the first 2 rounds. Deji said he would win, pride of his country and whatnot, and he lost, not even making it to the final round. This is what I call YouTube boxing. Although I have to say, my favorite part of this entire fight was Keemstar saying, I was wrong, Deji. I voted for Jake against you, but you can actually win. You can do it. And then just Deji lost. So yeah, get ducked, Keemstar. Some friend you are. But I have to say, better than even the fight itself was the aftermath of the battle. We have Jake Paul lying there with blood all over his face, clearly done to him by a guy called Comedy Shorts Gamer, the guy that literally no one thought would actually win, except for somehow Deji himself. I don't know how he was deluding himself, but hey, at least he tried, man. At least his fight was more satisfying than his brother's. So of course he's all prideful and he says, Jake, I challenge you to a rematch. That Jake literally has no reason to accept. And Jake says, oh, well, Deji, you fought well, and you should remember to buy my merch. But nah, I challenge Chris Brown, because, well, as we know, Chris Brown is one of the only boxers that doesn't have a problem hitting women. And, well, Jake Paul would fit that bill perfectly. Because, no offense, but he's a bit of a... So, a couple dozen merch plugs, 14 Walmarts, and 24 tongue-out photos later, we're ready for the main event of Logan Paul versus KSI. Sorry, I can't do the moderator voice very well. It's a freaking awesome voice. Jordy, you have a freaking awesome voice. If it wasn't for my extremely loud friends, I would have actually gotten to hear you during the damn stream. Doesn't help that the name of one of the friends that was watching with me was Paul. Well, his first name, not his last name, but a Paul nonetheless. Speaking of Pauls, we finally enter the main event. KSI versus Logan Paul. And while I would like to make fun of everything regarding how they walked on stage looking like total retards, I apologize if I've offended any retards. No, not by using the word retard, but by comparing them to Logan and KSI. Please. Logan with the black costume to Mac Jake's white, and KSI calling himself the Nightmare with that skull mask, clearly scripting out a story where Logan can reclaim his ruined reputation. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to that later. But I want to make fun of all of this. I want to honestly describe every bit of cringe-worthiness entering the arena right now. But then immediately I had a horrible, traumatic flashback to 2 years prior. It was 2016, and the great country of America was going through a bit of a hiddle-diddle as far as crowning its new ruler. Yes, during the presidential elections, I had the same vibe as during the KSI versus Logan Paul fight as far as who I was cheering on. And here I thought that Trump versus Hillary in the finals would be a once-in-a-lifetime emotion. You know, going for the lesser of the two evils. Who do you want? The sexist, racist Jake or the clearly evil, lying biatch? And I assume that was the general mindset of, like, most of the country during that whole election. And for me, this is extremely similar. I mean, yeah, Logan Paul's done some messed up stuff in the past. Let's not kid ourselves. We all remember that day in great detail. But let's not overlook how disgusting of a human being KSI is either. I mean, as far as objectifying women, both of them have done their fair share. But as far as actual sexual harassment, well, that was only KSI. What I said now, by the way, was kind of facts, not opinions. And while they both claim to have maybe changed a little, which is probably not true. I mean, let's just be honest. They want to repair their image, they'll say whatever they need to. I had a great time watching the fight, but I have to say, I was probably one of the least biased people actually watching it. Anyone under 14 was going for Logan. Everyone else was going for KSI because they didn't like Logan. I mean, pretty straightforward reasoning here. That being said, I do have a long-standing rule in my Honest Description series that there's one point in all my Honest Descriptions that I will describe honestly without quotation marks, rather than honestly with quotation marks. I will be completely honest, forthright, and forthcoming in this one point, at least to how I saw it, and I was not gonna do this after finishing the fight. I actually intended to do the entire thing satirically, but I feel like what I'm about to say wasn't said, and everyone's talked about this fight. So let me finish my train of thoughts before you interject, and if you disagree with anything I'm saying, I would like to hear your opinion in the comments, because after thinking it over a lot, I kind of see this clear as day. As probably everyone on the planet knows by now, the fight ended in a draw, and this was, according to everyone, the wrong call. Well, while most of my friends and contemporaries are claiming it to be KSI's victory, again, possibly blinded by a bias, or granted, maybe I missed something. If you actually look at the cards, and the score that was given after the fight was looked over by some professionals, but if you look at this chart, in the first round, Logan dominated big time 16-4. In the second round, it was 19-8. The third round was even. The fourth, KSI won. The fifth, Logan destroyed again. And the sixth, KSI completely demolished the bastard. It was amazing. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. In the end of the day, Logan had 64 connecting punches and KSI had 46. At the same time, Logan won 3 rounds, KSI won 2 rounds, and 1 round was even. Looking at these numbers alone, Logan absolutely has the edge as far as him actually winning the fight, but that's not all. KSI also, after the bell rang, punched Logan in the face, which is very illegal, and he should have been demerited many points for that strike alone. KSI absolutely finished stronger, and everyone said that if this would have been an official boxing match with 12 rounds, KSI would have destroyed him as the match progressed. And while that's completely irrelevant because the match was set up to not be an official match, yes, KSI absolutely had more stamina than Logan by the end of the fight, and he would have probably knocked Logan out entirely in the 9th or 10th round. That being said, if it would have been an official match, they would not have been wearing head guards. This is something I've not seen anyone point out, but in the first 2 rounds, when Logan landed 35 headshots without head guards, that would have potentially been the end of KSI entirely. So, I'm not saying this to Logan's favor, because they were wearing head guards, just like the match was 6 rounds. The fact that, well, if it would have been official, KSI would have won, is horse doo-doo, and I'm just expressing why. And I'm also expressing why it makes no difference. Remaining stamina does not matter as far as scoring these matches, and I looked heavily into how these matches are scored, and I don't see how the judges ended up voting 1 for KSI and 2 for draws, when honestly, according to the rules, Logan should have won. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with you here, and I only see 2 options to that. Option A, very simple. The judges hate Logan because, well, hating Logan is semi-logical, or they were biased in some shape or form towards the UK, or they just suck. That's on one hand. On the other hand, there's the rigged possibility, which I am honestly leaning towards a lot. But unlike many others that proposed this, I actually have a way to know. So hear me out, because this is freaking cool. Logan and KSI are going to have a rematch. It's going to be in the US, that's guaranteed. And depending on the winner of that match, we will know for a fact if this entire thing was rigged or if this entire thing was completely true. And the simple reasoning is because if everyone ends up exactly with what they needed for their own careers, yeah, it's rigged, especially because Logan should have won here. And if not, well, then it's honest. If KSI wins the boxing match in the US, they'll have the rematch, so they'll make hella extra moolah. KSI will be able to continue his career. Logan gets a lot of blame shifted off of him when the perspective is looked at from a fight perspective, kind of forgetting the whole Japan drama thing. Obviously not forgetting, but definitely moving on and taking everyone's mind off it to an extent where maybe they'll even pity him. Oh, can't really imagine, but oh, the tragedy. Jake gets in on the drama. He manages to win. Deji is the internet's hero right now because everyone thought he would lose in the first round. He managed to make it to the 5th. If KSI wins in the US, all 4 members of this little event actually win. Now, if Logan wins in the US, that is not the case. Jake and Deji still won, but that's just because most people that are involved in drama end up winning in some shape or form, unless they totally get demolished. Logan beats KSI once again. Logan wins. Blame shifted off him. He gets all hype. Everyone still kind of hates him for beating KSI, but at the same time, totally worth it for him. But if that happens, KSI is toast. KSI's YouTube career as a standalone YouTuber has not been doing exemplary, and it was all converted to the hype around these fights. He wants to even go pro boxing. He will be crushed and destroyed if he loses to Logan in this rematch. Now, as I've mentioned, Logan should win the rematch according to logic. Not only will he have cheering fans there, not only will he be in home ground, not only will he actually have more training at this point comparatively. At the first match, KSI had over a year of training and Logan had less than half a year of training, whereas at the second match, it'll be more like a year and a half to a year, a much closer time gap that will focus mostly on building up Logan's stamina, his only weakness. Well, not only weakness, but in this last match, his basic weakness. Not to mention KSI's confidence, which pushed him through the roof, is a bit shattered because despite him considering himself the far superior boxer, he was outboxed for a little while, and he had a hard time even if you want to claim he won. That being said, Logan's chances are even better in the rematch. So if Logan loses, then KSI wins, which means all 4 members of the event wins. The match was 100% staged. The judges voted for a draw for the rematch money. The 3rd judge voted for KSI, so everyone's mindset could be that KSI has an edge, so it makes sense for KSI to win the rematch, and this is fact. If Logan wins, well, it kind of makes sense judging by what we've seen here. KSI's career is done for, and this was all clearly not staged. This was the basic reason why I decided to end up making this video. I didn't see anyone talking about this one little, extremely important point to the entire KSI versus Logan Paul storyline. I just had to say it. That being said, go to loganpaul.com/shop, buy some of the hottest merch in the game, and feel free to subscribe to Nux Taku. I know I don't often do YouTube drama/community type videos. If you want more, I'm very happy to do more. I'm very into the whole community drama thing now since I have been doing YouTube. Honestly, this is the first time I mixed an analysis with an honest description. It was pretty cool, if I do say so myself. And I'm pretty happy with how it came out, but at the same time, let me know if you want more of any of it. Analysis on drama, honest descriptions on anything, as well as whatever you really want. Please like if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you want more. Notification bell is awesome too. Link in the description to my Twitter. Feel free to follow me there for anything I feel like saying. Link in the description to my merch, which is nowhere as flashy or badass as whatever the heck Jake was wearing when he walked onto the stage. Link to my Patreon is also in the description. I would extremely appreciate if you helped out. All patrons are invited to the Discord server. Special thanks to all the patrons helping me out, to anyone who's watched the video until this point, and for anything positive or constructively critical you left in the comments. Have yourselves the most wonderful evening, and remember to stay weird, fam.